Hi, this is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Washington State, and I welcome you to my weekly Casing the Catalog video and blog. I am going to be making a card today using this particular bundle. It's called Delicate Petals. It's located on page 57 of your January to June mini catalog. And I'm going to be imitating this particular card right here. Now mine's going to be very similar, but not exactly the same. And that's basically what Casing the Catalog is about. As a customer, as a card maker, if you fall in love with a card in the catalog and you want to duplicate it exactly and use it as a gift for someone, that is perfectly acceptable. As a demonstrator, I try to always put up videos that are at least somewhat original, but not always. Sometimes I just want to show you how to make the card from the catalog. Today, I did make some changes, and you'll see what those are in a moment. Let's get started. I am going to be making a standard A2 greeting card. So I'm starting with the standard 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Which we will fold and burnish. And that's going to be our standard A2 greeting card. Now let me show you what I made and tell you how it was done. This is the card I came up with. It's a little bit different. I did not use these bold colors that they have. This is like Daffodil Delight, and this is Marvelous Magenta, or Magenta Madness. I always say that wrong. There's a Petal Pink, a Calypso Coral, and a Rococo Rose, and that's what they used in here. And then behind, you can't see it maybe in my video, but in your own catalog, you'd be able to see that they stamped behind them with a little spray of a spray stamp with the gray. It's called gray granite, and I changed that up as well. So let me show you what I did. First of all, I wanted a different kind of paper. I didn't care for the solid flat color of the cardstock. It has its place, but flowers are I just wanted something different. So I would have done it one of two ways. I would have punched these out of white, just plain basic white, and used my blending brushes and colored several different colors on them. Or I could do what I did today, and that is I used a designer series paper. These papers came from Sand and Sea Designers Series papers, and they have these three really lovely colors and patterns. And I cut two from this one, and when I cut them out, I purposely cut from the lighter side and the darker side so they'd look a little bit different. Same thing with this one. I cut two of these from this particular pattern, and I tried to place the dies where I could get some variation in the colors. And then I only did one of this soft Seaside Spray, and so that is that one. So those are what I punched my flowers out of. This is the stamp set here, Delicate Petals. I'm going to be using this little spray right here for my background stamp, and I used these two dies for the flowers are what are used. Okay, and I've got them punched out, and I am going to, let's bring them in here. I am going to attach the center flower to the larger flower with glue dots. And before I do that, I'm going to give each of these just a little bit of a curl so that they have some dimension when I attach them to the card. And I just used my thumbnail and or my thumb even, I don't even really have nails, and just kind of gave them a little lift. You could use your bone folder as well. That always works really well. Just be sure not to pull too hard. You don't want to pull the petals off. Ask me how I know. I have done that. And so we'll do that, and then they'll relax a little bit when we're ready to actually start mounting them on the card. So let's get those all figured out here. Get their curl on. A pencil could do this. Anything you've got could do this. And like I say, you could do it with your fingers as well. So Takes a little bit to get those. I should have done some of these ahead of time. Then you wouldn't have to sit me watch me do them all. But then I get to talk to you more. So I don't know. Maybe that's a trade-off. Maybe you wish I wouldn't talk as much. I don't know. You might have to say something. We did actually have some sunshine on the Olympic Peninsula today, and I'm going to try and get out there and do a little bit in my yard. It's almost time to start planting seeds to put in the garden. Okay, we're going to stick these together with, get my little pokey tool, what I call my pokey tool, and I'm going to put one of these in the center of each of these larger flowers, just right in the middle. It's going to make them slightly sticky on the back side. That's okay, because we're going to mount them eventually anyway, and it's not going to matter. So let me get those in there. And let go. There we go. Oh, one more. Okay. Then when I mounted the centers on, I did not offset them. I let them stay petal to petal, if that makes sense. I didn't worry about offsetting them. You know, and if you get them made and you decide they need a little more curl, you can always add some curl to them as well. Okay, so there's the flowers. Now, I used mint macaron instead of gray, and to stamp that little cute little spray of flower, whatever that is. And I placed, there's just that little tiny bit of sticky in the center of these flowers, and I utilized that by placing my flowers kind of where I wanted them, and the sticky helped hold them in place just a little bit. Make sure that stays inside the parameters of the card. There we go. And then this one was kind of in there, and this one here, and then one over here. Now, they're not permanently stuck yet, but what I want to be able to do, and I'll get some scrap paper here, is with this mint macaron, I kind of wanted them to be a softer color, so I'm stamping them off once. And then now that I know where they are, I want this spray to kind of come out from between the petals. So now I'm going to lift this up, and I've got a basic idea where I want that. And so that's going to go like that. And then I'm going to stamp off, and I'm going to have one coming out of this one. And that's going to go like that. And then I'm going to have one coming out of this one over this way. Oops, let's get that one a little bit better. And it's going to go right there. And these eventually will get attached permanently, but we're just going to leave them like this for now. Oh, be sure and stamp off. This one I'm going to have come up this way, like that. I'm having trouble pressing out of the way down. And this one I am going to have come down this way, like that. Okay, now that I know where those sprays are going to go and then the flowers are going to be ready to go on, I'm attaching those with dimensionals. So we will do that. And one more. Okay, so then that one's going to go there. I'm going to put, I may get these back on here in a different order, who knows? That's okay. I don't want you to stick yet. Come on, let me up. I want to get you just right. There we go. And the last one I'm going to put just like that. So there's my cards, my flowers, I mean. And then the sentiment I also stamped with mint macaron. And on my first card, I actually left room for that sentiment right down in here. I don't know if I have room for that this time. I might have to make a little bit of an adjustment. Let's see here. Maybe I'll put it over here. Let me see if I like that. I think that'll work. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not, of course, stamping that off. I'm leaving it full strength. Just folding the flowers up out of the way until I get it on there. And wishing a lovely birthday to you. Now you could go back and add some more stuff in there. That's up to you. I also put some of the pastel pearls on them just because they needed a little center thing. And so I used the light pink ones on the pink flowers like this. And then I used one of the more white ones or gray ones. I'm not sure what color that's supposed to be. I'd have to look it up. Highland Heather, Rocoso Rose, Seaside Spray, or Gorgeous Grape. So I'm assuming this is supposed to be Highland Heather maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, it looks more white or gray, and it looks perfect on the blue flower. So let's get that more in the center. There we go. So there is today's Casing the Catalog card. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'd love to have you shop with me if you're not already connected with a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I will put a link to my online store in the description below. Thanks for stopping by.